Hey guys, this is Jono from Simple Cookery, and this week we are making a Hiroshima style okonomiyaki. A Hiroshima style okonomiyaki. So earlier on in the channel we did a Osaka style okonomiyaki and you guys have loved that video. So now today we're going to be making a Hiroshima style okonomiyaki. So they're two different cities in Japan, Osaka and Hiroshima. And so the main difference is that with the Hiroshima style okonomiyaki, it's all about the layers. So you've got a few primary layers. You've got a crepe layer, which we're going to be making with some flour and some water. Then we've got our vegetable layer, which we're going to be using cabbage, spring onions, and bean sprouts. We're going to have a meat layer, and for the meat, we've got some thinly sliced pork belly, which you can get at the Asian supermarket. And then we've also got a noodle layer, which we're using Yaki Soba Noodles here. And with Hiroshima style okonomiyaki, they always have a noodle layer, which is really important. And then finally, an egg. And we're just going to top it off just similar to the Osaka style okonomiyaki with some sauces. So we've got some okonomiyaki sauce and then some Japanese Kewpie mayo, and we're just going to garnish with some Bonita Flakes. Let's start cooking. First step, add half a cup of flour into a bowl and then add half a cup of water into a bowl. So when you add the water, make sure you add it gradually. Use a whisk to keep whisking the water and the flour together. This will make sure you get a nice smooth and consistent batter without any lumps. Keep mixing until you get that smooth consistency we're looking for. Once you finish with the batter, set it aside, and we're going to chop up some vegetables. Finally, dice your spring onion and cabbage. With the cabbage, make sure you chop it until it's really nice and fine. That's going to allow it to cook much easier on the pan. If the cabbage pieces are a bit too big, you're going to get that raw cabbage taste, which isn't quite pleasant. Just make sure your cabbage is finely diced. That's pretty much all the prep that we need to do. So now let's start putting this okonomiyaki together. First thing you want to do is preheat a pan on medium heat. Add a drizzle of oil into the pan and then get a paper towel and just wipe that oil evenly across the pan. This will make sure that the whole of the pan is nicely coated with oil so that no part of the okonomiyaki sticks to the pan. Just get a ladle full of that batter that we made earlier and spread it across the center of your pan. Let that cook for about 30 to 60 seconds and you'll start to see it set a little bit. And that's the moment when you want to add your cabbage in. Be a bit generous with the cabbage because it will wilt down after we cook it. You want to create essentially a cabbage layer that's of a decent thickness. So with a Hiroshima okonomiyaki, we have our four primary layers, which is vegetables, meat, soba noodles, and then an egg. So with the vegetables, we've got our cabbage, and then we're going to add some bean sprouts and a sprinkle of that spring onion that we chopped up earlier. So you just want to cook out the vegetables for 1 to 2 minutes and then add a sprinkle of Bonita Flakes on top. This is going to give it a really nice umami flavor. So the second layer of the Hiroshima okonomiyaki is going to be our pork belly. So gently place your slices of delicious pork belly on top of the vegetable layer. Now it's the time for the moment of truth to flip it over. What I like to do is to get 2 spatulas, move it around a little bit just to warm it up, lodge these 2 spatulas right under the okonomiyaki and then flip it. So 1, 2, 3, flip. A little bit of the cabbage will spill out a little bit, but that's okay. You can just push it back under the okonomiyaki and everything looks fine. It's looking really nice and clean. What we're looking for is some nice golden bits on the batter. Once you've flipped it, we're just going to cook out that meat layer and really let that cabbage wilt down and cook. On a medium heat, this generally takes me about 5 to 7 minutes. In the meantime, let's bring a pot of water up to a rolling boil and add in our soba noodles, which is going to be our third layer to the okonomiyaki. Once the noodles go into the boiling water, just use a chopstick to separate them out. Once they're cooked, drain them and run them under some cold water. Okay, so after 5 to 7 minutes, your cabbage should be just about cooked. So now we're gonna get our 2 spatulas and take it off the pan and onto a plate. Discard that unwanted cabbage and clean up the pan a little bit. Add another dash of oil into the pan and your soba noodles that you cooked earlier. I'm going to stir fry the soba noodles for about 1 to 2 minutes and season it with a drizzle of that beautiful okonomiyaki sauce. This is smelling really good right now. So now let me show you how to create the 3rd and 4th layers of our okonomiyaki. This is a really cool trick. So you get a pair of chopsticks, you push the noodles onto the side of the pan to create a nice circular shape in the middle. And then you just get an egg and you crack it into the middle. As soon as it goes in, just get your chopstick, break it up and stir it around because the egg will cook quite quickly on a medium pan that's already been preheated for quite a while. Get your 2 spatulas again and then fold those noodles back over the top of the egg. And there we go. We have our 2 last okonomiyaki layers. And then we just add the rest of the layers that we cooked earlier. Get your 2 spatulas and place on the other half with the batter side facing up. So it should kind of look like a really thick pancake. And this is looking really good. I'm probably just going to cook this out for another minute, just to let everything merge and combine together. Another final trick to get this off your pan safely is to get a large plate and place it over your fry pan. And then you just go 1, 2, 3, and you flip the fry pan over, and it should come out pretty nicely onto your plate. Get your okonomiyaki sauce and give it a generous drizzle over the top. And then you get your Kewpie mayo and you drizzle it the other direction. And then just a little trick that I taught you guys in my previous okonomiyaki video. Get a chopstick or a toothpick and just run vertical lines down the okonomiyaki, creating those beautiful checkered patterns. And then finally, we're just going to garnish with a bit more Bonita Flakes.
Yeah, I did have this in Hiroshima, and it was really nice. And I think I'm gonna you're gonna take me back to Hiroshima, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. The noodles definitely add a whole new dimension to it.
Yeah.
The normal okonomiyaki that you get. If you ask me the preference between Osaka and Hiroshima Okonomiyaki, I'm gonna have to say this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I just really like the noodles. The combination of noodles and the pork belly, amazing.
Really good, yeah. When I first learnt about this recipe, or when I first heard about Hiroshima Okonomiyaki, I thought it was really, really complicated to make because, you know, there's all these different layers, but you just practice it a few times and it's actually not that bad. Just give it a go, guys. It doesn't matter if you screw up the first time. Keep practicing and you're gonna get it right. And when your friends come over, cook this and they're gonna be like, whoa. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, give this video a big thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe down below if you liked it, and bye.